Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so today we're going to tackle something that, well, let's be honest, most of us probably remember with a bit of a groan, the grammar textbook. We're going to look under the hood and see how they've been totally redesigned for today.
So let's just start with something I think we can all relate to, what this section's all about, the grammar problem. I mean, for so many of us, grammar class was a struggle.
You know that feeling, right? That sense of frustration? For educators, this isn't just a bad memory. It's a real, fundamental problem they have to solve. So why? Why has this subject always been so notoriously tough?
Well, for a lot of us, it probably started with these long lists of rules that felt completely arbitrary. They seemed totally disconnected from how we actually talk and write, which made them, almost impossible to remember and even harder to use.
And oh, who could forget the feedback? Getting an essay back, not with comments on your brilliant ideas, but just covered in that dreaded red ink, correcting every little comma or modifier. It felt less like learning and a lot more like you were being punished.
So you take all that stuff, the random rules, the red pen, those really abstract sentence diagrams, and it all adds up. You get a subject that, for a lot of people, just feels rigid, lifeless, and, let's face it, pretty boring.
But what if there's a better way to do all this? Today, we are literally deconstructing a modern teacher's edition of an 8th grade textbook, Grammar for Writing, to see exactly how it's trying to solve that old problem.
All right, this right here, this quote is the key to everything. It's from the National Council of Teachers of English, and it's cited right in the book. The entire system is built on this one powerful idea. You learn grammar best when you're using it in actual, meaningful writing. So here's the big shift, the crucial point. Grammar isn't taught as this separate thing you have to memorize. It's framed as a set of tools. The goal isn't just to know the rules. It's to use those rules to make your own writing more powerful, more clear, and more persuasive.
So that's the philosophy. But how do you actually do that? Well, it starts by being way more than just a book. As we're about to see, it's a complete toolkit, a whole hybrid system designed to work together.
What you're looking at here is a really cool hybrid approach. On one side, you've got your traditional print materials, the student book, the teacher's guide, but all of that is integrated with a whole suite of online resources. We're talking extra practice, writing guides, and even professional development videos for the teachers themselves.
Okay, let's get into the real secret sauce here, the actual teaching methods. This is where it all comes alive, because it's not just about what they teach, but how they teach it. And it's all based on some serious educational research.
So instead of just throwing rules at students, this whole curriculum uses specific, proven techniques. The textbook even points to this big report called Writing Next, which identified what actually works for teaching writing. And two of the biggest strategies are something called sentence combining and the study of models.
A huge part of this is that kids learn by doing, not just by listening to a lecture. They're actively working with sentences to make them better. Here, for example, the focus is on making a verb choice a little more precise. This kind of hands-on work is really the foundation for those bigger strategies, like the first one we're going to look at, sentence combining.
And this is what I find so brilliant about the process. First, kids just get to play around, to experiment with combining sentences. Then, they start to discover for themselves how different choices change the meaning or the feel. And only then, after they've seen it in action, do they learn the formal grammar terms like clause or voice. It's learning by doing, not by memorizing.
Now, the second big strategy is the study of models. You can think of it like this. It's like learning to paint by copying a masterpiece. Students take a really well-written sentence from a professional author. They break down how it's built, the structure, the syntax, and then they try to build their own sentence using that same structure, but with their own ideas. It's incredibly effective.
But any teacher will tell you that no two students are the same. A classroom is full of different learning styles and different needs. So how can a single program possibly adapt to that reality?
This, for me, is one of the most revealing things in the whole textbook. Inside the teacher's edition, you have these incredibly detailed charts for differentiating instruction, just like this one, for every single lesson. It gives teachers specific hands-on activities tailored for students who might be struggling and for students who are learning English.
And these aren't just generic tips,
They're really thoughtful, really human. We're talking about using gestures and pictures, playing vocab games with flashcards, putting kids in small groups to practice, and even encouraging students to help teach each other. It's all about creating different ways for every kid to get it.
So we've taken this thing apart. What's the big takeaway here? After this whole explainer, what's the bottom line?
Well, I think we've seen that what looks like a simple grammar book on the outside is really so much more than that. It's an entire system. It's based on research, it blends print and digital, and it's built around one clear goal: teaching communication, not just rules.
By completely changing the game, from memorizing rules to mastering tools, the whole point is to empower students, not just correct them. It's trying to finally bridge that old gap between rigid structure and real creativity. Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. Can an approach that's this structured, this researched, finally succeed where so many others have failed, and actually inspire a real love for language?